Live in Western Oregon, this is NBC 16 News at 11.
Tonight, we're learning new details about what may have motivated armed men in two separate attacks to invade places of worship over the holidays. Good evening and thanks for joining us on NBC 16 News at 11. Filling in, I am Alexis Thrower. In Texas, the hero who stopped a gunman inside a church is speaking out about that terrifying confrontation. And in New York, federal prosecutors now filing hate crime charges against the man accused of bursting into a rabbi's home and stabbing 5 people during a Hanukkah celebration. Tonight, authorities revealed the suspect's anti-Semitic messages, and that's where we begin with NBC's Kathy Park.
Tonight, a chilling look at the moment police say Grafton Thomas, armed with a machete, launched his mission to attack a Jewish congregation celebrating Hanukkah. Today, court documents allege he said no one is leaving as he charged through a packed rabbi's home in a suburb of New York. Joseph Gluck used his table to fight off the attack.
I saw that he's looking at me. I smashed it in his face.
Hours later, police found Thomas in Manhattan in his car smelling of bleach. Authorities say he had a machete and a knife. Both had traces of dried blood. In his home, the FBI said they found handwritten journals, which included references to Hitler and Nazi culture, as well as drawings of a swastika and a Star of David. Authorities say his phone showed Thomas had been searching for nearby temples.
We're going to have patrols out of community members of different ethnic backgrounds working together to send a message that hate won't be tolerated. Local
Officials promise increased security amidst fears about rising anti-Semitism, like the deadly attack earlier this month on a Jersey City deli. Nationwide, there were more than 1,800 anti-Semitic incidents last year. But today, Thomas's mother and his attorney said he suffers from mental illness.
My impression from speaking with him is that he needs serious psychiatric evaluation.
Of the 5 Hasidic men injured during the attack, 1 is still in critical condition.
Developing tonight, the official search for a missing North Plains woman is now over, but her mom isn't giving up. Misty Watterson talked to our sister station in Portland today. She laid out a timeline leading up to when her 20-year-old daughter Allison disappeared. Misty says she last saw her on Saturday, December 21st. Allison had said she'd be home the next day, but she never showed up.
I woke up for work Monday morning and I immediately just started messaging her friends. Hey, have you seen Allison? She was supposed to come home last night and she didn't.
Allison was finally reported missing by the father of her boyfriend, Ben Garland. 30 hours after Garland told police the two had gotten separated. He's been arrested on unrelated charges. Washington County deputies suspended their search Saturday after combing 1,600 acres near North Plains. On to a first look at weather. NBC 16 meteorologist Travis Knutson joins us now.
We have some rain on the way for Western Oregon, quite a bit of it in fact, but it'll arrive tomorrow afternoon and evening around dinner time, bringing us into our Wednesday morning. In fact, Tuesday night, we may see some heavy downpours and that'll translate into some wet conditions across our area getting into Wednesday. It's all because this line of clouds out across the Pacific Ocean that will stream some moisture into our area. But for tonight, things are still pretty quiet. Plenty of clouds overhead, a little bit of some moisture being seen for higher elevations. But as of now, the rain holds off until we get to about dinner time tomorrow. Temperatures tonight will cool off into the upper 30s. Highs for our Tuesday, upper 40s to low 50s on the way. And once the rain's here, it's with us for a while. I'll tell you how long in my full forecast coming up in just a few minutes.
Thank you so much, Travis. Oregonians have until October 1st of 2020 to get a Real ID. According to Oregon.gov, you'll have to apply for a Real ID driver's license or ID card starting in July in order to board a plane. NBC 16's Angelina Dixon breaks down the details.
Another cost, another government requirement, but here's what you need to know.
Yeah, it's coming. October 1st of 2020, which is right around the corner. You'll have to have a Real ID, and the Real ID, you can tell it has a star in the corner. So if your ID doesn't have that star, it will not be good for going through TSA at any airport nationwide.
And this is what he's talking about right here, the star at the top right corner of your license or ID card. Now, it may look different in other states, but a star will always indicate a Real ID.
It's not something that you could just stamp or tag on your license. you'll have to apply for a Real ID driver's license or identification card at the DMV.
Real ID is specifically designed to inhibit the ability of a criminal or terrorist to evade detection using fraudulent identification. We strongly urge travelers to take action as soon as possible and ensure they are ready well before the deadline.
All right, come on over.
That's the reason for the Real ID. It was passed by Congress over 15 years ago. But why is Oregon taking so long to issue them? Oregon.gov says it finally passed the Oregon Senate in 2017. But before that, Oregon law prevented the issuance of the Real ID. You may choose not to get your new Real ID, but you'll need a passport or some other approved document to board a plane or enter a federal building. The cost for the Real ID is still left to be determined by the DMV. They will be issued starting July 6th of 2020. Reporting in Eugene, I'm Angelina Dixon.
Two of the nation's biggest package delivery companies are starting the new year off with fee increases. UPS and FedEx have announced it will cost you more to ship heavy packages in 2020. Both companies say they will charge $24 for packages that weigh more than 50 pounds. The threshold used to be 70 pounds. FedEx says its fee increase doesn't kick in until January 6th. The speed limit in residential neighborhoods in Eugene will be lowered in 2020. State legislation passed last year giving cities jurisdiction over the speed limit in residential areas. NBC 16's Alex Hassenstaub spoke with city staff about why they're choosing to make this change.
Jocelyn Schofield, director of Little Sprouts Child Care, has a concern. Even though the speed limit is 25 on 28th near Polk, where her child care center is located, she says people go much faster.
I would say people are going like 40 or even faster than that, honestly on a regular basis.
It's affecting what she does with her kids.
We don't honestly feel comfortable taking the kids out on field trips around the neighborhood.
Now the city is trying to slow people down in 2020, reducing the speed from 25 to 20 miles per hour in residential neighborhoods.
Really, when you see a speed limit, we'd like you to go what the posted speed limit is.
Larissa Varela is an associative planner with Eugene Public Works and is also part of the Vision Zero action plan to reduce the number of fatal and life-changing car collisions to zero.
Speed is the second most contributing factor to fatal and life-changing injury crashes in Eugene.
She said this decision really came down to statistics.
When a person is hit at 20 miles per hour, they have a 10% likelihood of experiencing a fatal or life-changing injury crash. If that speed goes up just 10 miles per hour to 30 miles per hour, then the likelihood increases to 40%.
The exact date of the change hasn't been determined, but Varela says it will happen next year and will cost the city around $31,000 to change the speed limit signs. Schofield isn't sold that people will actually go the speed limit, but she says the reduction is still a good thing.
Because then maybe people would drive 30 instead of 40. Or even 25.
New year, new speed limit. I'm Alex Hassenstaub reporting.
Coming up next on NBC 16 News at 11, if you're going out tomorrow and plan on drinking, now's the time to strategize how you plan on fighting a hangover. And later in the show, the Oregon Coast Guard is preparing for crabbing season, which begins tomorrow. And if you see breaking news, be sure to give us a call at 541-393-KMTR, that's 5687, or send an email to newsdesk@kmtr.com.
Tomorrow on NBC 16 Today.
Start your New Year's Eve morning.
NBC 16 News at 11.
It's almost time to ring in the new year, and if you're like many around the world, you may be planning to partake in several toasts. In today's Health Minute, Jeremy Roth gives you some tips on combating that holiday hangover.
Do you tend to wake up on January 1st with a bit of a headache and the spins? Do you feel the need to reach for a gallon of water? Chances are you're suffering from a hangover. Your kidneys and liver are working overtime to process all the alcohol, which is throwing your metabolism and inflammatory reaction off. While there is no actual cure, here are a few tips and tricks that may help you get back to normal. The first are a few old wives' tales that some people swear by: chugging electrolyte-filled sports drinks and or coffee, eating greasy or carbohydrate-rich foods, and one myth that says you should drink alcohol to help you get over the alcohol. Or you could go the medicinal route. A study done with rats showed dihydromyricetin reduced the withdrawal signs and counteracted alcohol intoxication. This Chinese herbal medicine is often marketed as a hangover cure. Some people swear by taking over-the-counter pain relievers before going to bed to help minimize the effects the next day, but doctors say mixing alcohol and acetaminophen can be harmful to your liver. Remember, the only real cure is to not overindulge in the first place. So if you want to avoid the situation altogether, monitor your alcohol intake and drink plenty of water. For today's Health Minute, I'm Jeremy Roth.
A group of local midwives are currently fundraising to open a new birth center, and they need your help. Our Community Birth Center is a nonprofit run by midwives. Their hope is that the center will be a nurturing and supportive alternative for those expecting. The same nurses worked at Peace Health's Midwifery Birth Center, but that was shut down this November.
This is a community effort. This is a grassroots effort, and the community is so supportive. They rallied and advocated all summer long, saying we want and need a birth center, and so we wanted to emphasize the importance of the community and our mission and values.
Westlake says they will need $775,000 to get the center up and running this fall. If you would like to donate, we have more information on our website at NBC16.com. The number of flu cases and doctor visits continues to rise, according to the Oregon Health Authority. OHA says so far they've logged 22 outbreaks of influenza, with over 130 people in the Portland metro area hospitalized with confirmed flu. They say that number is higher than normal for this time of year. Most of the cases reported are caused by the influenza B virus. Both influenza A and B are contagious and cause the same type of illness and symptoms. They're different strains of the virus.
It's kind of an unusual year this year, and we're going to have to keep our eye on those strains. And the people who make decisions about the vaccine are going to have to consider whether to change the strains that are in the vaccine for next year.
The Oregon Health Authority says the flu vaccine is the best way to combat the virus. They also recommend washing your hands often and staying home if you are sick to avoid spreading it. A New York doctor is suing Apple, claiming the tech giant used his technology in the Apple Watch. Joseph Wiesel filed his lawsuit in federal court in Brooklyn on Friday. The New York University cardiologist says he invented a method and device for detecting an irregular heartbeat. He received a patent for it in 2006. Wiesel claims Apple used that technology for its popular smartwatch. When he contacted Apple in 2017, Wiesel says the company refused to negotiate in good faith with him. He is now asking the court to stop Apple from using his invention without his permission and to order the company to pay him royalties. Turning to weather now, NBC 16's meteorologist Travis Knutson is standing by for a look at what's coming up in your full forecast. Travis?
A lot of cloud cover across our area overnight tonight with temperatures in the upper 30s and low 40s. We do have some rain on the way, and once it's here, it's with us for a while. I'll tell you how long coming up next.
Skycam 16 gives you a real-time look at today's weather. 16 News at 11.
Crabbing season starts tomorrow, and the Coast Guard is ready for one of its busiest times. They have trained for heavy weather conditions, since the weather during crabbing season is typically rough and can lead to boating disasters.
We're always prepared, make sure our boat crews are all settled up, make sure our watchstanders are knowing what their exact job is to do. And we're training the newer people that haven't been through a crab season on what to expect.
The Coast Guard keeps log of boats going out, taking down dates, locations planned, and the number of people on board. That gives them some basic information in the event something happens. Coos County has received a $75,000 grant from the Rocky Mountain Elk Foundation. According to the Coos County Forester, it's to improve the wildlife habitat in the county's 760-acre forest land off Seven Devils Road near Charleston.
Habitat improvement on this property and public access. We have a lot of Himalaya blackberry growing on the property. We'll have to end up spraying that to get control of it. It'll improve not only the elk habitat, but the forest too, for growing the trees. Parking lot would be at the top up there. It'll go for that parking lot also. New fencing, the elk-proof fencing.
It is walking, public access, hunting, and recreation land. Trees will be planted on Thursday. Morgan says the project will continue through next year with help from volunteers from the Rocky Mountain Elk Foundation.
And now weather with Chief Meteorologist Travis Knutson.
This Monday evening, things are relatively quiet across our area, but as we get into the last day of 2019, rain starts to roll its way into the region. But here's a look at that satellite and radar loop for the evening hours. There's been a little bit of moisture up across higher elevations, but for our area, pretty much dry still. And we're waiting on this swath of clouds out across the Pacific Ocean to send some rain our way. A high pressure center to our southwest and a storm system to our northwest is directing the jet stream our way. Right now, it's up in British Columbia, Canada, but it'll descend its way down to the south tomorrow afternoon into our Wednesday morning. Tuesday night, that jet stream is pointed directly at us, bringing with it some heavy downpours to our area, and this storm continues to progress its way closer to our region, keeping things relatively saturated. So the wettest point in time is Tuesday night into Wednesday morning, but even into our Wednesday and Thursday, we still have to deal with this unsettled weather pattern associated with that high pressure center or low pressure center, which means things remain a little wet here once the rain starts. But here's a look at the showers on arrival in our model forecast. Stopping this at 8 o'clock tomorrow, we have some clouds around the area, but no raindrops here just yet. By 2 o'clock in the afternoon, you can see the rain up to the north, pushing its way southward, and then by midnight tomorrow night into Wednesday, the yellow and the oranges where rain is most intense, the deep greens with some heavy showers as well. And this is the wet weather we will see into Wednesday. By Wednesday morning, there's still rain overhead, but the heaviest downpours have moved beyond us, but still off and on saturated showers are expected throughout our Wednesday. So here's a look at how much rain is expected over the next couple of days. We'll play this till 5 p.m. tomorrow. We'll notice our rain totals are still pretty low. Tuesday, for the most part, is dry. It's into Wednesday when those rain totals really add up. Pausing this again at 9:30 in the evening on our Wednesday, where inland valleys are facing about a ½ inch, if not more, and the coast is facing an inch, if not more than that, between now and 9:30 on our Wednesday. Now, here's a look at where our temperatures will be tonight and our highs tomorrow. In the upper 30s for our lows, around 50 degrees for our high temperatures on Tuesday. 7-day forecast here for the Eugene-Springfield area. Pretty wet getting into Wednesday. Thursday, we'll see a few showers as well, but things wrap up. And at this point, Friday looks relatively dry, but another round of rain rolls on in as we head into the weekend. In fact, our long-term extended forecast models look to be trending on the wetter side than the drier side in general as we get into January. For the coast, low 40s for our nighttime lows. Highs tomorrow in the mid-50s for the coast. Winds from the southwest 5 to 10 miles per hour. Winds kick up a little bit in the evening with the rain rolling in from the ocean. 7-day forecast here for the coast. Wet weather is here to stay. Friday, we may get a good break in the showers, but still a few raindrops may make an appearance. More moisture as we head into the weekend. Temperatures not doing a lot of variation here for the next few days. It's really the rain, the big weather story. The Umpqua Valley, upper 30s for our lows overnight. Tomorrow, facing some lower 50s for those afternoon highs across Douglas County. Your 7-day forecast for Roseburg, Tuesday night into Wednesday is pretty wet. Thursday could see a few raindrops. Somewhat drier for Friday before more rain hits Western Oregon as we head into our upcoming weekend.
Thank you so much, Travis. And next in sports, today marks Rose Bowl Media Day down in Pasadena. Hayden Herrera joins us next with some unique questions for both the Ducks and Badgers.
And Doug. Team Sports Desk is brought to you by Three Rivers Casino Resort.
After all of the drills, game film, and hard-hitting questions leading up to the Rose Bowl, the Ducks and Badgers got a little break from all the seriousness and instead answered some unique questions. Hayden Herrera has more.
When Oregon and Wisconsin meet on Wednesday in the 106th Rose Bowl game, both teams will be focused on nothing else but the goal of a victory. It's serious business out on the field, but Monday at Media Day provided a chance to see the lighter side of the Ducks and Badgers, answering questions that they wouldn't typically get every day.
What has been your favorite uniform combo this season?
My favorite uniform combo has definitely been the Stanford game.
I think there's one coming up. I'm excited. New lids, so we'll see how it goes. I'm excited for that.
I like the first game, the Auburn game. We had the white jersey with the green, the combat pants. That was kind of hard. That was my favorite uniform.
State of Wisconsin trivia questions, all right?
Oh, okay.
What is the lowest temperature ever recorded in Wisconsin?
Negative 80.
Negative 60.
Negative 50.
And you're close, negative 55.
55, okay. If this Oregon football season was a movie, what would the title be?
Oh, man.
I mean, it's funny. We always kind of talk about this. Like, man, we could have made a movie about all of this.
About, like, the path to the garden.
That's a good one. I like it. You guys are better than I am.
All right, next question. What is the official state bird of Wisconsin?
No clue. It has to be an eagle of some sort, right?
It's not the penguin. I was about to say, it's not the penguin. Batman, Robin,
What's the state dance of Wisconsin?
Is it like polka or something?
Ding, ding, ding. We have a winner.
Polka. Is it two-step?
The polka?
Ding, ding, ding.
It is?
You are correct. Do they really polka in Wisconsin?
Not anymore.
Rose Bowl events for Tuesday include a press conference featuring both head coaches, the Rose Bowl Hall of Fame induction ceremony where Heisman winner and USC quarterback Matt Leinart is one of the inductees, and the Rose Bowl Bash, a fan event happening all afternoon in downtown Los Angeles. Reporting from the Rose Bowl, I'm Hayden Herrera.
Thank you, Hayden. Oregon's path to the Rose Bowl goes back to when the Ducks promoted Mario Cristobal to head coach 2 years ago. Many around the country questioned the hire. Brandon Cameron joins us with a look at why the players' pick for head coach proved successful.
For years, Mario Cristobal was doubted.
I never based my life on doubters.
Go back just a couple years ago. After Willie Taggart left, Cristobal already on the Oregon staff, but far from a lock for the head coaching job.
I mean, that's the reason why, we kind of signed a petition to choose him, because we knew, this guy's serious.
A petition signed by the players led in part to the hiring of Cristobal, who, despite winning 9 games in his first year, still carried doubters.
Finished strong with a bowl game win last year, and he's got us to the granddaddy of them all, and we just continue to keep getting better.
Whoever doubted him, look at us now. We're at the Rose Bowl. It's been a long time coming from Oregon.
He's showing it, and it's proven this year. Obviously we lost the 2 games, but outside of those 2 games, you're talking about amongst some of the elite football programs in the country.
But Cristobal isn't worried about the doubters.
I couldn't even comment on that because it's just not part of the process. We get up at 4:15 and we go as hard as we can to the very best of our abilities to do the very best by our people. As servants, we serve our guys as best we can to make them the best future fathers and husbands they could possibly be, and have absolutely zero concern about anything else. And it's resulted in our highest graduation rate, our highest GPA, and a really big silver trophy downstairs that calls us conference champions.
And there's no doubting that. In Pasadena, I'm Brandon Cameron.
Thanks, Brandon. And again, kickoff New Year's Day is at 2 p.m. That's it for sports. Back to you.
Coming up next on NBC 16 News at 11, we all need a little balance in our lives, and this cute baby giraffe is no different.
The boss says we're overstocked.
We've got 2. Finally tonight, staff members at Breck's Baton Rouge Zoo in Louisiana are excited about their newest resident. The zoo welcomed a male reticulated giraffe on Thursday, December 26th. Over the next few weeks, a staffer at the zoo will closely monitor the calf to make sure he remains healthy. The zoo director says the mortality rate for giraffes ages 6 months and under is nearly 50%, adding that the coming days and weeks are crucial. The birth marks the 20th giraffe born at the zoo and is the first giraffe successfully born in Baton Rouge since 2001. Thank you for watching NBC 16 News at 11. The Tonight Show with Jimmy Fallon is next.
You've got your own car with your own insurance.